Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the field.
Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. This fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown. Here comes the shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, everybody, no way. King Dingbat here, and welcome to another Philly Shakedown podcast. Episode, I believe, 51, is it? Or 52? 52. I'm getting old. I'm not that old, though. Joey Shakes. What is happening, my man?
Not much, man. Just we got snowed in a little bit here in New York. Got a little bit of snow, so I had to do some plowing, had to do some different things. But I'm getting ready.
He was plowing snow, I'm plowing matrimonial duties. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, how much snow did you get?
3 to 9.
3 to 9. Ain't too.
Well, it's a lot of ice. There was a lot of ice though too, so it was kind of crazy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So before we get started and get into all the stuff we're going to talk about, receivers, top 3 needs, let's talk about some news that happened today. You were telling me beforehand, Ian Cunningham got hired, right? As GM of the Bears. I mean, I didn't know too much about Ian Cunningham. I heard, he was an up-and-coming type guy. My view is with the Eagles, they're going to have to replace him, but most likely whoever it is going to have to give control to Howie Roseman. So at the end of the day, we know who runs the show in Philly. Right. But, I mean, from what I've heard about him, he's up-and-coming, young guy. So, I mean, that's a big jump for him to go to GM, Isn't it interesting that the Philadelphia Eagles, the team that was supposed to win 4 games this year, a team that far exceeded expectations, all of a sudden we got all our people are getting interviewed and hired. And you got the Cowboys that all they could get rid of was a defensive coordinator. He didn't even want to go. Nobody wanted him. So it's kind of interesting to me, We're losing all these people already.
Yeah.
It's kind of – what's that?
No, I thought I saw something. All right, we're good.
Oh, yeah. You had the whole, I see everybody talking about Brady. So the whole thing with Brady today was Brady was supposed to retire. It came out he's retiring. And said, no, I'm not ready to retire yet. I haven't made up my mind up. What a debacle. The news gets it right again.
Yeah, he's going to drag this out. He's going to drag this out for months. That's good. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, okay. I don't even care. He's he's a great player, greatest of all time. But to me, I'm more interested in these young quarterbacks that are coming up. You have Mahomes, you have Josh Allen, Herbert, Burrow. I mean, these guys. I think the league's got some good young quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jimmy Neutron says, "What's good? 500. We need this draft to be double moonwalk this year. We do." And thank you everybody who's in the chat. I see you all here. Chase, Terrell, Kenzo, Chubbs, Sean the Savage, a Bears fan. Maverick 1 is here. I didn't see any angry faces though. Bird Gang 31. What is up, my man? Shout out to you. But yeah, it's crazy. Morgan Holmes, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. He said, "Bro, I want Devin Lloyd in the first round. That is a true linebacker that solidifies the linebacking core away. He's a first day starter." Yeah, a lot of people have told me that they like Devin Lloyd more than Dean. I haven't watched Lloyd at all, so I'm going to have fun going through some of his tape. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Oh, Lloyd is more balanced than Dean when it comes to his pass coverage and obviously his blitzing, physicality. So I mean, there's more of a balance. He's better in coverage than the Kobe Dean. So difference right there.
Yeah, Kenzo says, because people don't realize how good our front office is as a whole, they look at a couple first-round picks and they lose their mind. Yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, we always seem to have young, up-and-coming people that get plucked, It happens all the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at that. You can piss off a Cowboy fan so easy. It's just so easy. Nobody wanted him. Dan Quinn was a top 3 candidate. Got interviewed twice. He chose to stay in Dallas because he stinks. That's why.
Yeah. Plus,
but I just think it's funny. It's just funny that it doesn't take much to trigger a Cowboy fan.
Yeah, he's staying in Dallas because he wants to try to get them to Super Bowl next year. That's what he quote unquote said. So.
Hey, he's a great coach. He's a great coach. I'm just busting balls, dude. He says I like Harris the best than Lloyd and Dean. Yeah, Harris could be good too. Here's the question. Now, everybody, a lot of people talk about linebackers, and it looks like the way the draft is going to fall, you may have your choice of the best linebacker in this draft. Will the Eagles draft a linebacker early? I think it's time that they should. Okay, I think they need to get a franchise linebacker in there, somebody to build around. We talked a lot about this last year with JOK. You need the foundational piece. I think you need one on the line, you need one at linebacker, and you need one in the secondary. But the question is, Joey, will they?
I don't know. I mean, from Howie Roseman's press conference at the end of the year, talking about the philosophy of the team and which way they're going. So this is what Howie had to say about which way they're going this year. So he says, I think we have a philosophy on how to build this team, a philosophy that we think has been successful. Obviously, you'd like more championships every time you're out there, but we're going to stay committed to the way we think of building the team. So I don't feel comfortable on which direction they're going. I mean, who knows? We might get a surprise pick, but there's no way that one of the 3 of these linebackers is not going to be there. I think someone's going to be there between 15, 16, and 19 regardless.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I wanted to ask you a question. This is one of my subscribers asked to ask this question and bring it up tonight. What are your thoughts on Tua, the quarterback of Miami? Do you think he's better than Hurts? What are your thoughts on him? I told him I would bring this up in here.
I think he has more time. I just think he's I don't know. I think he's just had more time under his belt, and I don't think he's horrible. Obviously Miami, they're 1-7 at one point and won 8 games straight. So we need that pick to go down, which it didn't. But I think it just comes about it's about the coaches around him, and I think they have a good offense for him. They build around him nicely. I don't know. As of right now, I think he is, just because of the time that he's had, and that's about it. I mean,
yeah, I'd rather have Hurts than Tua. That's just me. Okay. I wasn't a fan of Tua coming out, but you might be right. He may be a better passer, but he throws a lot of interceptions. I don't know, but to me, he's nobody that I would try to acquire. That's for sure.
No, hell no.
Tyler, thank you for the super chat. He said, "Would you trade a first-round pick for DK Metcalf?" Ooh, he wants to go right into it because we want to talk about receivers tonight. What are your thoughts?
Oh, yes.
Thank you for super chat.
About this, yes. I mean, instantly. There'd be no hesitation on that. First-round pick straight up. Definitely.
Yeah, that's my thoughts too. That is my thoughts too. The one receiver that I would give a first-round pick for is DK Metcalf. I'm a huge DK Metcalf fan. I'm also have not recovered to the fact that we got rid of him. We could have drafted him with our second round pick. I would have to do it, and there's a lot of people, a lot of Eagle fans, I'm going to say this now, are very, they're very convinced we need a big physical wide receiver. That's the thought, and it goes back to the old days, big receiver, speed wide receiver. I'm not so convinced that matters as much as it used to. Just look at who's in the championship games. Kansas City, who's their big receiver? The Rams. The Bengals have T. Higgins, 6'4", but he's fast. And then you have the Niners, Ayuk, Debo Samuel. They're not big receivers. I think the whole idea of big physical receivers in today's game, to me, in my opinion, does not matter as much as if they're fast. Speed is where you need what you need your receivers to do. Now, you get a guy like T. Higgins, who's, I think, he's got good speed for a guy his size. DK Metcalf, good size, good speed. Then you got something special. But there's just I did the whole video and I was talking about going after Christian Kirk, because I think the Eagles need a slot wide receiver more than a outside big physical wide receiver. I think Devonta Smith is our number one. I would like to give Quez Watkins another year to develop. Okay, I think he's better off on the outside. And I would go after a guy like Christian Kirk. I don't think he would cost a lot of money, and he's a really good slot receiver. He's good in man coverage. He's good in zone. But a lot of people buy into the whole big physical receiver. I don't as much. What are your thoughts when it comes to big and small and all this stuff?
Look,
football-wise.
Yeah, right. So when you look at certain teams like Kansas City has a track star, receiver core, which is totally fine. Like, maybe, teams like offenses now, in this new age of football now, maybe teams aren't really getting those receivers that don't have as much speed, but have, the big catch radius anymore. So, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind keeping Quez as a number 2 because I think he's gotten open a lot of times this year, 647, whatever it was, yards this season. And I wouldn't mind getting a Christian Kirk, getting a number 3 receiver to kind of be in the slot. I think we need that guy. Greg Ward is going to be walking in free agency. So, they don't have to pay a lot of money for the top guy to be on the outside opposite Devonta Smith. I like Quez Watkins and Devonta, opposite of each other, and then having that guy, in the slot would be perfect because I honestly, as of right now, on our roster right now, there's really nobody else that could take that spot that has that, that drift off speed like Kirk has. I really like him coming out of Texas A&M a lot. His catching's great. He's got deep speed. He's twitchy.
Does.
He's great.
Yep. And he's 25. He just turned 25. Now we'll see if he becomes. Right now we got a lot of names out there for free agency. Right. Some of these guys may get signed up, protected, all that. So we have to kind of wait and see what happens. Philly Swag, thank you for Super Chat. He says, would you take both Dean and Lloyd at 15 and 16 if there? Only if I get a premier pass rusher in free agency. Then I would consider it. But I don't think the Eagles would ever do that. What do you think?
No, I would just draft one. I think you just need someone to complement TJ Edwards and then have more of a competition during camp. And you have Davion Taylor that's been hurt a little bit. We started to see that TJ Edwards and Davion Taylor combination that was working out before Davion Taylor got hurt before the bye week. So, that'd be great, but I don't know.
Jimmy G. Burner, man, you look like a girl on your thumbnail. He says Smith is too skinny. You know what? Devonta Smith played every game. He played every game. I don't buy that anymore. Now look, if you could get a big receiver, I think Allen Robinson has good speed, and they have good speed. It's of course, but I would prefer a speed guy over a guy like what we got with Alshon Jeffrey. I just think the game, you need fast and you need to have speed, and I don't know that size is as important as it used to be. And just my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Kazzy, thank you for Super Chat, man. He says, Cowboys never beat Brady. Laughing my ass. And they never will, apparently, either. Whether he comes back or not, Yep. Dean, Lloyd, Linderbaum, and Sauce Gardner. I like this Linderbaum and Sauce Gardner. I've got to watch... I've got to watch Lloyd. I've watched Dean a little bit, but that was it. VJ Davis Super Chat. He says, what up, gang? Realistically, y'all think Jalen will hit all those receivers if we get them, especially in a run-heavy offense? I want Sauce Gardner draft time. That's the whole question, right, to the whole season. Is Jalen Hurts the guy for the future or not? And to me, it looks like he's going to get the opportunity. We don't know for sure because the Eagles, they could do whatever, but can he develop into a better passer? That's the whole question. We don't know. But if you add weapons, if you went out and got Calvin Ridley or DK Metcalf and you improve your receiving core and he's still got a problem, then it's him.
Yeah, I want to see if it's going to be enough to get a number 2 receiver or to get a slot receiver to see if it's added in and it helps Jalen Hurts, because at this point we don't know if Jalen Hurts is going to be a franchise quarterback like you just said before. So as of right now, if there's a problem with Hurts next year and we're seeing the same repetitive mistakes like we did this past year in 2021, then you have that first-round pick that you traded back. Obviously, we're going to trade one of those first-round picks back. We'll have security for 2023, and that's when you get your quarterback.
Yeah, agreed. Now, Xavier says DJ Chark. is coming to Philly. A lot of people are talking that the Eagles are going to go after DJ Chark. I love DJ Chark coming out. He was one of my favorite guys. I mean, I did videos on him. So I like him. I think he had an ankle injury, so I think it's something he'll fully recover from. He's like he's fast. He runs like a 4.3 and he's 6'4". I think he's 6'4", 6'4.5". When you got that speed and size, then I'm in. But you have to have speed. I just can't have a big physical receiver that can't move. DJ Chark is interesting. I wouldn't mind it, but here's the question. You bring DJ Chark in, obviously he's playing on the outside, opposite of Devonta. Can Quez Watkins, and I'm not sure he can, I don't know, can he play the slot? Can he be a slot wide receiver?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen him in that position, so I don't know. But here's the crazy thing. So DJ Chark is really good for his size. He is. He's really fast.
He's fast.
The bone. So he had the foot fracture this past year.
I think ankle or foot, something like that.
Yeah. So last year, 2020. He had 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. But who was throwing him the ball most of those times for those 1,000 yards? Gardner Minshew was throwing the ball to him in 2020. A lot. So,
right. Well, we're gonna get into quarterback. I have some quarterback questions for you coming up. We'll talk about Minshew because I saw that you did a video on it and he put out some kind of cryptic tweet like he ain't gonna be in Philly anymore, even though he's under contract one more year, which would mean a trade. Lone Wolf says Hurts is better off with DK because he don't have to touch or time it. Yeah, well, DK, you can throw it up and he can go up and get it. Look, DK Metcalf is fast. He is fast. DJ Chark is fast. You give me a tall guy with speed any day of the week, but they have to have speed. If they don't have speed, I don't want them. I need my team to be fast. I want my offense to be fast.
Right.
Just my opinion, Morgan Holmes, thank you for super chat, man. He says Moss was skinny, Chad Johnson was skinny, and they're two of the best receivers of all time. So yeah, Smith is skinny, but remember he's an alien. Devonta Smith, and thank you, Morgan Holmes, for super chat. Devonta Smith was fantastic this year. I mean, dude, you know how many times I go back and watch something? Oh my God, he's open. If you put him with Burrow, he would have put up huge numbers.
Yeah, as long as Devonta Smith doesn't get touched off the line, I mean, he's free to go. I mean, he will get past anybody. Should have had more than 1,000 He should have had more than 1,200 yards this year.
Right.
Been getting open,
right.
So.
Yeah, Philly Swag says Ridley would cook in the slot. See, if I got Ridley, I would put him on probably on the outside also. My thing is I really like Quez Watkins. I really think he can play the number 2. I really do, and I'm thinking, do we not try to develop him further? Like, to me, I think he had 40-something catches, like 647 yards, 15 yards a catch. Okay, he can stretch the field. But he didn't get a ton of opportunities either. You know what I mean? They rotate those guys out and stuff. I think Quez could play outside, which means then why not improve the slot? That's why I'm like, Christian Kirk, to me, is just an interesting prospect to bring in. I don't know. I know probably a lot of people don't like that, but I think it would be great. Now, what are your thoughts on going after Calvin Ridley? Because I think you did a video on it, and you were talking, and you could tell people about the tweet, and stuff.
Yeah, so Calvin Ridley ended up, I guess there was some Eagle fan on Twitter that talked about Devonta Smith and Jalen Hurts and Calvin Ridley, Alabama boys come back together in Philadelphia. And he actually liked that tweet. But before that tweet, he actually liked, I guess, from a Miami Dolphins fan. Apparently there's rumors that Ridley's bought a house in Miami or something, that he could be going to Miami. I don't know if that's the case, but it seems like he would be interested in going to the Eagles. I don't know. But the Calvin Ridley trade, I really, really like it a lot because I think you can kill two birds with one stone in a trade like this. Number one, you're not giving away a first-round pick because he's only played 5 games. Obviously, he has the anxiety issues, the mental issues, whatever's going on with him. So the Eagles need to do the research on that. But, a lot of people are saying don't get him because of, he's a quitter on the team, blah, blah, blah. Right. But for a guy that you could put on, like, he was supposed to be the number 1 receiver in Atlanta this past year, which obviously it's not it really wasn't going to work out anyway. And, Kyle Pitts is a tight end right now, and they're still trying to figure out the offense. So I think, what I've heard was that Now, Ridley's camp hasn't talked to the Falcons front office in like a long time, probably a few months.
Right.
So sooner or later, something's going to happen. But I think Garofalo was on NFL Network a few days ago saying that a trade is probably going to happen. And I think you can give away a second, maybe the third-round pick. At this point, you're not, what are you going off of Calvin Ridley's 2021 year? Not much with 5 touchdowns, 280 yards, and, not much there. So as of right now, I think you go after a trade like this, you can get rid of some assets, because I think for Ridley
or assholes like Reagor.
Right. I think all Atlanta wants to do is get a pick because there are teams that dump players onto other teams just to get rid of them. And the Falcons might not even care about these players, but they want that pick. So you can trade Reagor. You could try to get maybe JJ off the team, or maybe even, we'll talk about Minshew later, but Minshew could be a possibility for some teams in the trade too. So I the Calvin Ridley trade I really like a lot.
You know what the Eagles should do? This is just a thought. They've dealt with anxiety issues and those kind of things. Maybe they try to bring Brandon Brooks as some sort of mentor to kind of talk to Calvin Ridley if they were to go out and get him and work with him, because he's kind of gone through it himself. You know what I mean? And it could help a lot. Yes. I mean, it definitely. VJ, thank you for super chat. He says, imagine this though: Smith, DK. Oh my gosh, like Ridley, Mike Williams. Yeah, that would be ridiculous. I like Mike Williams too. I mean, there's a lot of guys I like.
It's a perfect year at wide receiver this year. It's perfect for the Eagles this year.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing, if you did get Ridley, you technically, if you extend him, you can set it up so you're not paying him much this year. He's still on a rookie contract. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it could be interesting. If it was me, and here's my thought: if I could get DK Metcalf, I'm getting him. Okay, that would trump everything. Oh yeah. But if not, I really would like to give. I would like to give, and I know this is not the majority opinion, but I would like to give Quez Watkins another year outside, and I would go after a guy like Christian Kirk, and I would get a really good slot wide receiver, and I would go from there. That's just me, though.
No, that's 2 different combinations you could do. I mean, look, I think Christian Kirk I think he'll be pretty expensive. I mean, I think you'll be paying good dollar for him because he's very productive. So,
yeah, I mean, they were saying, I was reading something where they were saying he's going to get a good contract, but he's not going to get top tier. And part of it is because he didn't go over 1,000 yards in his career yet. And it kind of hurts, but he's right on the cusp of it. You know what I mean? He's at 900 something yards,
Right.
That's a touchdown. Ref says, don't forget Devontae Adams, even though he might be franchised. They said that Devontae Adams is asking for $30 million a year. $30 million a year. Like the Eagles, they can't afford to get him. I really think. I don't think so. No. I would say that DJ Chark might be the cheapest option, really, because he's coming off injury, and I have no problem with that at all. By the way.
Yeah, DJ Chark's contract is supposed to be around 4 years, $48 million. So it's a big jump in price. That's definite.
Yeah. I definitely think you go receiver in free agency. You in free agency through trade, or just picking up a free agent. I think that's where you address it. I don't want to see another first round. I get a lot of people saying first round pick draft. I don't want another receiver in the first round. I want to focus on defense. As a matter of fact, my biggest contract in free agency, I want it to be a defensive end. And then, then second, maybe a wide receiver. Then I want to focus heavy on the draft,
Right. Yeah, I mean, if they want to go after a receiver in the draft, and I don't know where Jameson Williams is supposed to go. They're from Alabama, so I'm not sure if he's a day 1 pick or he might be a day 2. So I'm not sure. That'd probably be the only receiver I'd really get.
Yeah. I think they're saying mid first round is where he's going to go. Yeah. But I mean, look, we haven't even gotten to the scouting combine yet. So many things change. Quarterbacks, they come up, and they, quarterbacks always rise in this whole thing. Philly Swag says Hurts is my guy, but he needs to be effective downfield. He misreads all the time, and when he actually throws it deep, it's so inaccurate and out of range. Yeah, I agree. I mean, and that's going to be the big question for him. That's what we're going to see. Big question. Now, let's talk a little bit quarterback stuff right now, because is there any quarterbacks in this draft that you would be interested in, like if the Eagles were to draft or look at?
As of right now, if you were to tie me down and you were to just threaten me and say, you got to pick a quarterback in this draft, okay, I'd probably tell you maybe Malik Willis from Liberty, just because.
That's why I keep hearing out. Yeah.
Malik Willis has obviously that talented elite arm, and he has that RPO read option, style. You could run a styled offense like that with him. I mean, all these quarterbacks have flaws, and this is why this is the best draft for quarterbacks. But with Malik Willis, you get the talented arm, and that already is a little bit polished with the passing game, on top of how agile and how athletic he is, which I think he's faster than Jalen Hurts by a mile. I think he's a lot faster, especially his vertical speed. I can't wait to actually see his 40 time, see how fast he can actually run. But it's really issues on, it's really, he's got some passing issues. He's got some, I wouldn't say accuracy issues, but he's not consistent with his passing sometimes, but the arm is there. So
he's got the tools, though. A guy like that rises in the draft. He will rise. No question about it.
Right.
Philosophobic. Thank you for the super chat, my man. He says Quez Watkins is our second best man beater receiver behind Dallas Goedert. He's better man receiver than Devonta. Give him more time. I agree. I think I would give him more time, because I think he's still developing, and I would really focus on a slot receiver. I really think they need a much better slot receiver than they have. A guy that they can go to on third downs and stuff like that. But I mean, we'll see. But thank you for the super chat. Now I'm going to say this. I did see, and you might have saw this on Twitter. There was a proposal. There was a trade proposal. I want to get your thoughts on it. It was 2 first-round picks this year, and I don't remember if it was Jalen Hurts or not, so I'll keep him out of it. 2 first-round picks this year for Russell Wilson. Would you do that?
For this year's draft?
Yeah.
Oh, no, absolutely not. No.
You wouldn't?
No, I just, because as of right now, you know what I mean? Like, if you get Russell Wilson right now, he's already old age right now. And there's not much time to build around him. This team is not a quarterback away from competing. So at this point, like, if you said a first-round pick this year or maybe next year, I would maybe go towards yes, but 2 first-round picks for this year, no, this team still has to build. It's just not enough time. It's just not enough. You get a Deshaun Watson that's younger, or anybody that's younger. I mean, we don't know. Russell Wilson didn't really have a good year this year. Plus, he got injured. He got injured, yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm not big on that at all. Like, I'm so against it. Yeah.
I was thinking about this. 2 first-round picks, and you still have a first-round pick this year, and then you have a first next year. I might do it.
Shut up. Oh my God. Why?
Because Russell Wilson is a stud, and you would have to go into win now mode. You'd have a 2-3 year window, but Russell Wilson's never had an offensive line like we got. I mean, I would be very tempted, and especially if I can keep Jalen Hurts and let him learn behind Russell Wilson for a few years, I have to consider it. I would. It's hypothetical. It was out there, and I just, at first, that was when you said, like what you said, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, hell no. Then I'm sitting there driving work thinking about this all day. And the more I thought of it, you know what? Maybe I would do this, Michael says, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, but you believe that Howie Roseman, if the quarterback is officially available, do you think Howie Roseman will at least monitor the situation?
I think Russell Wilson is the one guy he will, because I think he always looks at Russell Wilson as the guy who got away. Do you know what I mean? I think he sees it. The question with Russell Wilson is how many years can he play? That's it. But I don't know. The more I think about him, I'm like, maybe I would do it. I don't know. Because I'm thinking he has not played with an offensive line like we got. He has not played on a line like that. Michael says, who 2 players would you draft 15, 16? Lindenbaum, Sauce, Dean, or Lloyd? Well, I haven't seen Lloyd play. And if I have to choose between those 4 guys, I'm probably going to go either Dean. Well, I'll go Dean because I've watched him. I haven't watched Lloyd yet. And I'll go Lindenbaum because I think Lindenbaum's an absolute monster.
Yeah, I'll go Lloyd. I'll go Lloyd and Linderbaum. But let me ask you this: if Linderbaum is available at 15, are you taking him? Like, are you taking him regardless if Kelsey's here? Like, you would still take him?
Yeah, I think, to me, my thing is okay, you like, I know we need defensive help, but listen, I'm still going to strengthen my strength. I just lost Brandon Brooks. I am going to lose Kelsey within the next 2 years. I still want to have a dominant offensive line for years to come. So I would. I probably would. But to me, like I said before, I'm probably, if it's me and I'm 15 and 16, I'm probably trading up into the top 10 and trying to get a first round, get the best defensive edge rusher I can get.
True.
That's me. We got like 300 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, click the link in the description, and go sub up my man Joey Shakes. And just to let everybody know, I will be streaming both games tomorrow. So come hang out with me. Should be kind of fun. Let's see. Monroe says, Hurts learning behind Russell Wilson will never happen. If we take Russell, someone at point will see Hurts' value and take him from us, and he'll go else somewhere and flourish. Yeah, you might be right. You totally could be right. But if I could do it.
That could be, I know, but that could be any player. Like to say, like, oh, well, if he leaves, like, there are people even like, when Sidney Jones left, he had a little bit of success. When Rasul Douglas left, he had a little bit of success. And then when he starts balling out, when Rasul Douglas started balling out in Green Bay, everyone's like, oh, we should have kept him. Like, dude, he went to like 3 other teams. Like, it's not like he went to another team and just became a starter and got paid all this money. You know what I mean? Right. So obviously, yeah, like, I mean, if Jalen Hurts has, I don't know if there's another coaching staff, depending if, they could produce him the way we want to produce him right now. So, you're not, how much more time you're going to give it? Another year. But I say how long are you giving it? Are you giving it the whole entire year, or like by week 10, 11, you're going to be like
Hurts?
Yeah.
Probably most of the year. Right. But I'm going to be a lot harder on him than I was this year. Like a lot of things I said, all right, well, he's young, he's learning. Next year, he has to take that step. He has to take a gigantic step. I'm not going to be easy on him next year. Yeah. It's year 3. He's got to get it going. Let's see here. I Love Weed says, I'm very high. We live. Rock and Ray says, so what you're saying, you wouldn't want Watson? No, that's not what I said. I never said that. To me, I just realistically looking at it, and the hypothetical was about Russell Wilson. It wasn't about Deshaun Watson. But Deshaun Watson, it sounds like all this off the field stuff is not going to end anytime soon. So to me, if he's not cleared of all the stuff and you risk a guy getting suspended, I can't go and get him. Now, if he's cleared and the FBI came out and said he was extorted and all this stuff isn't true, I'll go out and get him in a second. I would get him in a second. I love Deshaun Watson's talent.
I mean,
but it just doesn't look like it's going to be cleared by now.
Something's got to happen soon, because all they're doing is like he's getting paid and he's just like, we're going to keep him on the roster for a whole nother year. There's just no way. I mean, there's got to be some point where they move on. I don't know.
Yeah. Let me go. Hold up here. HT, member for 11 months. Dingbat Nation, man. Shout out to you. Thank you for your support. He says, love you, Philly. I'll be in Korea for 2 years. South Korea, I hope, not North Korea. You got problems. But you got to go to the border and take a look what's going on, man. I'm sorry I missed the membership chat. It doesn't show up on StreamYard. So you have to physically switch it over. But thank you, man. Park, remember for 5 months of Dingbat Nation. He says, what's going on, Philly? Eggnog season almost over. I'm paying for eggnog season right now. All right, I just told Joey I'm back on a diet, and I'm struggling today. My wife could come in right now and say, we're going to get pizza, and I'm done. I have no willpower right now. You know what I mean? No. Philly, you the man, but go Cowboys, baby. All right. Cowboys choked again, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. We need Nelson Aguilar for what? We don't need no Nelson Aguilar. We got Jalen Reagor. Are you kidding?
So I want to bring one thing up. So the Texans, so obviously Texans looking for a head coach right now. So as of right now, Jonathan Gannon is having the second interview. I think I don't know if he's scheduled to have it or he's already having it. But here's what I don't get with these processes of searching for head coaches. So the Texans are searching for a coach. Literally, Jonathan Gannon had 1 year at defensive coordinator. And then Josh McCown, that's never had an assistant coaching job in the NFL. I know he's a head coach of a high school when he was with us. He used to fly back and forth to coach his school. So I hope Jonathan Gannon gets this job.
Oh my God.
God, I hope he gets it.
Yeah, second interview today.
Yeah.
No question about it. Philly Rapture says if the offensive coordinator is pulling their weight, they can scheme around Hurts, only seeing half the field. Yeah, I mean they can to a certain point, but at some point, defenses also get wise, make adjustments. I think at some point you want him to be as complete of a quarterback as he can, you know. Dominic says, I want Vic Fangio as defensive coordinator. I like Fangio as a good coach. My only issue is I don't know if I want to go to a 3-4 scheme. That doesn't interest me. You kind of got to change things around. I don't know if I want to do 3-4 scheme.
Right.
I'm a 4-3 guy from the Buddy Ryan days, you know, and I know we did it briefly, I think, with Chip, and I didn't like it, dude. I really didn't like it.
Yeah. So if it's not him, if it's not Vic Fangio, that we've been talking about him a lot, of maybe being defensive coordinator, but who do you think?
Say that again?
Who do you think for defensive coordinator if it's not Vic Fangio that you would at least try to pick?
I don't know. I don't know. I know there's been talk about the dude from Baltimore that got fired, but he runs I think Baltimore runs a 3-4 also.
Don Martingale. I think his name is Don Martingale.
Wink something. Yeah. I want a 4-3 defensive coordinator. So I would look at I would even consider, and I know a lot of people don't like this, but I would even consider a younger coach, somebody off of the Bills tree or the Kansas City, somebody that comes from the Jim Johnson branch. I would love Rex Ryan. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I want somebody off of that tree. That the fundamental belief has to be pain. I'm going to get your quarterback. I am going to attack your offense. Mm-hmm. And, that's what I want, But I'll tell you what, if I did go to a 3-4 scheme, you have to get Hassan Reddick then. You have to. I want him in a 4-3 too, but, you would have to. Mm-hmm. George Burwell, thank you for the super chat. He says, Philly and Joey, I would go best available defensive end with pick 15 and linebacker with 16th, 19 if I kept him corner opposite. Slay. Yeah, I probably would do that too. If I have to stay at 15, 16, and 19, I probably would go defensive end, linebacker, or safety, who was ever better, and then I would probably go offensive lineman. That's just me.
Yeah.
Seth Joyner for defensive coordinator would be great. Hurts trained by Vic. Yeah, I mean, listen. Thing with Vic was the difference between Vic and Hurts is Vic had a one of the greatest arms I've ever seen. I mean, guy could throw 80 yards with a flick of his wrist. Damian Ramney, thank you so much for super chat. He says, "What's good, 500 and Joey retiring from the Navy after 22 years, man?
Oh.
Shout out to you, man. Thank you for your support, man, and all your service, man. I know that's not easy." He says, "Going back to Washington Township." Yeah. Shout out to all that serve our country. I'll be getting my tickets for the link. Yeah. Shout out to all that serve us. We appreciate everything you guys do. And Damien, man, congratulations on 22 years of service, man.
Definitely.
And retiring, man. Good to hear that. Philosophobic, thank you for super chat. He says, Brian Flores. Yeah, well, I love Brian Flores. I don't understand why he doesn't have a job yet. I don't understand how he's out of a job.
Could he go back to a DC? Because obviously I thought he maybe would have went to the Giants.
The problem is, and I don't mean to cut you off, is if you get him as a defensive coordinator, it's like 1 year. He's going to be gone after a year. Somebody's going to hire him. No?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, the Giants hired what's his face,
Brian
DeBall,
mm-hmm.
right? I think he's a good pick, but I thought they were going to go Flores. I really did.
Yeah.
But
better. For
I don't
them
know
or
how
no?
he doesn't have a job.
Better for them.
I like DeBall. I think DeBall's got some upside. He was one of the guys I wanted to look at. He's not going to make Daniel Jones, Josh Allen, though. The people that think that's going to happen.
I don't know why they're even attempting. When I saw that Joe Show and the new GM said that they were still going to build around Daniel Jones, and especially if they try to give him a big contract after this year.
Hey, keep building around Daniel Jones. Do it all day because you're just going down further and further. Yep. You'll be in last place again. Daniel Jones. See how we talk about like Hurts going his third year and he's got to make a jump. last year to me was Daniel Jones' time. Daniel Jones was on the clock last year as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
And he didn't pass, Parker, thank you for Super Chat. He says, I like to pick up a safety in free agency and start Epps. I don't know what free agency safeties are available. There were a lot of talk about Minkah Fitzpatrick, but I think he's got 1 year left on his contract. So he's technically a free agent next year. But I'll tell you what, this kid, the Notre Dame safety Kyle Hamilton, if he's a kid I would look to move up to get too. If he can get like between 10 and 12, and let's say you're staying at 15 and 16, I would go up and try to get him. I think the Eagles need a Derwin James, a Malcolm Jenkins, a quarterback of that defense, kind of,
Yeah, they definitely need a moving piece. I mean, I think getting rid of Malcolm Jenkins kind of, he was the bandage of our defense for, a long time. And, if we had injuries or we need him at linebacker, corner, he'd play any position. So
yeah. George Burwell, thank you for Super Chat. If we don't go Hassan Reddick, thoughts on Clowney? Clowney may be a cheap option, but he's kind of regressed, right? Every year in the last few years.
Yeah.
So, hopefully there's somebody else. Flores to the Saints. That would make sense. That would make sense. So, what's interesting is, why does everybody want to go to Miami? I guess I know why they want to go to Miami, but it's not for football reasons. It's taxes. It's the weather. It's everything that goes on down there. But it's not really for football. So where are their heads at that they all want to go to Miami? It's not on football. That to me bothers me. The one place, if I was a football player, I would not want to go is to Miami. Now, I love Florida. I may go end up living for. I have no problem with Florida. But if I'm a football player, I want to play somewhere cold, outside, nasty. That's where I want to play. Right. Not Dallas. Cheap ass bastards. Parker David Super Chat. He says, pretty sure Williams from the Saints will be on a free agency. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's the free agents right now. All of them. I know some of the receivers. I don't know the offensive line. I want to go through the offensive line because I think we can't sleep on upgrading the offensive line. Now, look, people like Herbig. I like Herbig too. People like Sayamalu. I'm not as big on Sayamalu as other people. I think he's a good run blocker. I don't like him in pass. I don't like him pass protection. I want to keep my offensive line. Like, I wanted to keep it the best in the league. Like, to me, I want to make my strengths even more of a strength. So I want to add another interior offensive lineman.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it either. Brandon Brooks retired too, so
right. Mm-hmm. Brandon Brooks retires. Congratulations to him on a great career. He even worked his contract before retiring to really help the Eagles cap space wise. So I mean, I love Brandon Brooks, but he didn't play the last few years, and I just think I would just like to keep making that offensive line better. That offensive line is why we got to the playoffs. That offensive line is what kept us in games. And I'm going to keep building on my strength.
Right.
Philosophobic says, keep all picks, no guarantees on top 2023 pick. See, I have to trade one of those first round picks most likely. Especially if I'm with Hurts, because if I go out and I draft good defensive players, and let's say I hit on the draft, let's say everything goes good, but you realize Jalen Hurts is not the guy. Now let's say you win 8-9 games. Now you're going into 2023, you're picking 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. How the hell are you going to get up or have the ammo to go out and get a quarterback if you know you need one? Now you're in a position where you're always going to be in that purgatory hell where you're not good enough to get, a Super Bowl, and you're also not bad enough to pick and get a franchise-changing player. So to me, I have to have leverage, I have to have insurance policy, and I have to have at least 2 first-round picks. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree.
And thank you, Fabio, for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. We got over 300 people in here, 322 people. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new to the channel, please like, please subscribe. make sure you click the link in the description. Go saw up the better half of the Philly Shakedown podcast. One, Lane Johnson.
Thank you.
Ryland Davis Super Chat. He says, between defensive end Thibault and Hutchinson, who you like more and why? Well, I'll be fair. I have watched Thibault because I can never say his name, but I have watched Hutchinson, so I would lean Hutchinson only because I've kind of watched some stuff on him. But to me, I'm open to either one, really.
Yeah, I'm fine with both these guys. Hutchinson's more of a consistent guy. Not saying Thibault's bad or anything like that, but definitely Hutchinson. If you're gonna go, he's gonna go top 3. He's gonna be a top 3 pick. So
yeah. Quez says, "Hey Quez, I'm pushing for you to start on the opposite end here." He says, "Do offense and free agency." Yeah, I could see them going offense, free agency, and defense primarily in the draft. And I don't think they'll go every pick, but I could see that. He said if we spend 15, 16, 19, 51, and 83 on defensive end, cornerback, linebacker, safety, defensive, we can completely rebuild the defense for next decade. I agree. I agree with that. I agree. Here's a question, and I don't think we've talked a lot about this. What about drafting a running back in mid-rounds? I think they need another running back. I don't know how long Jordan Howard's going to be there. I think you can find somebody to fill that. We don't know what the future Miles is. Could you go running back, let's say, between rounds
3 and 4?
2, 3, 4, 2 and 4?
Yeah, I would try to get maybe like a bruiser back with some elusiveness, like somebody like a Najee Harris type guy. Obviously he's great, but someone like that they can develop. Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Yeah. I really want to focus on keeping that line strength, keeping that running game intact, and then building those outside weapons of free agency. But I agree. 20 Eagles 215. What's up, my man? Shout out to you. Good to see you. Let's see. Parker, thank you for super chat. He says, Washington football team leaked supposedly the Washington Commanders. Wow. I would call them like the Washington Authoritarians or Washington Commies, something like that. But if it's the Washington Commanders, that's so stupid. I hate that name.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah.
Washington. What are they going to – what's the logo going to be?
Not even that, but they got to buy – they have to buy everything all over again. It's like, that's the second time now. It's like now they got to – go in the NFL shop and rebuy jerseys and try to make money off of it. And go through all that.
Yeah. Here you go. Noah brings up another name that I didn't even talk about yet. Juju Smith-Schuster. What are your thoughts on him?
I think he's a number. I think he's definitely a number 2, but I'm not. I've never really been big on Juju.
No.
Even look, he's good. But I think the Eagles, last year offseason, I think there was we saw before he went back to the Steelers, there was a big apparently Howie Roseman had a big contract on the table for him, and then he decided to go back. So that could be it could be an option. I'm not big on I think we can get someone better, but that's just me. But
yeah.
I'm not big
I don't mind him for the right price. I feel like he would cost you a little more than some of the other guys. I like the idea of a guys, well, I wouldn't mind DK Metcalf trade or Calvin Ridley, but I don't mind guys like Christian Kirk, DJ Chark, some of those guys that aren't top tier. Another guy we can talk about is Tyler Lockett. He's a hell of a receiver. You could go out and get him too. So,
he's still on contract, isn't he?
I think he's a free agent. I'm not sure. Parker, thank you for super chat. He says domain for a website was bought by them, called that. Okay, yeah, well, that's probably their name. I don't know. It just sounds weird to me. What the Washington Commanders of what? What are they commanding? That we all pay taxes? I don't know. I don't like it. Philosophic, thank you for super chat. He says Arnold, I can't pronounce it. Ebiketie is a beast. Edge, look at it. I have to look at it. I can't even pronounce his name. I'm going to be doing tons of Philly reacts. I know Joey's probably going to do the same, where I'm looking at guys for the first time, and I'll be putting out a couple a week, probably starting next week. So we're gonna go through so many guys. It's going to be crazy. You know, yeah, I like that Danny Washington dumpsters. I agree. I like that one better. Twin Eagles, he says, Philly, you, Jason Kelsey, Joey Lane Johnson, two of our best pro pullers. I know, we should call it the Jason Kelsey Lane Johnson podcast. Could you imagine everybody thinks like we're the real ones, but we just look like them? That would be hysterical.
Oh, God.
That would be hilarious. John Hightower, my thoughts on John Hightower is he had flashes, but they obviously don't seem to believe in him. I mean, they didn't even really bring him on the practice squad.
I don't think they even used him the right way, even when he was some semi-productive. They used him as on verticals and comeback routes. I mean, that's really all they used him on. They didn't really do much with it.
Right.
They didn't work with him middle of the field or anything. I really like John Hightower a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just surprised me that he was, I mean, look, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside's up there. I don't understand why you wouldn't bring Hightower, We're going to have to figure out what we do with Reagor. I mean, do you think the Eagles will really trade Jalen Reagor?
No.
Like, he's only – I think they're not – I don't think they're going to move him either. No. I think they're going to push him out there and try to make him do the same thing he's been doing. I don't think Howie will give up on him.
Like, they can't, like, what's what I'm saying? I don't want them to force him to play, like, just because they're trying to justify the pick, just like they're trying to justify the J.J. Arcega-Whiteside pick. I feel like they're just trying to, they can't keep doing this. Like, they're going to do it another year. Like, Reagor and J.J. are still going to be on the field, even, you know what I mean? It makes no sense. They have to bring more competition to push them out. They should.
Right. If they would have used half of their time to scheme Devonta Smith and give him plays the way they did it, Jalen Reagor, he would have had 1,300 yards. I mean it. They gave Reagor so many chances, it's not even funny, Rock'em Ray says, Michael Thomas. What are your thoughts on Michael Thomas? That's a name. I mean, he's a hell of a player when he plays.
He still has another he's on contract throughout 2024, but his cap numbers are ridiculously high, over $24 million. I mean, they're really high. So
yeah. Oh, they would have to. He's still under contract then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much money to take over.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah,
I think so. Too much money. I mean, he's a hell of a player. I mean, but you can't. You definitely can't whatchamacallit. You can't. What the hell? Oh, you can't worry about pay. I can't pay the guy that much money, dude. Not as a second receiver, Jay Wheels, thank you for super chat. He says sleepers, quarterback Carson Strong and linebacker Christian Harris. Well, yeah, Christian Harris. A lot of people like Carson Strong is the guy I have heard some good things about. I need to go watch him. What are your thoughts on Kenny Pickett? Any thoughts on him?
I'm not a fan of him at all, really.
No.
His arm is okay. I just don't. I don't think his pocket presence is too good. His awareness isn't really good. I don't know. I'm not really big on Pickett. I haven't really been big on Pickett.
Right. Nighthawk says, Philly, imagine if Brady and Rodgers retires. All good quarterbacks are in the AFC. We can definitely make the Super Bowl. It's interesting. Let's say I mean Rodgers isn't going to retire. I think Rodgers is going to end up. I think he ends up in Denver. That's where I think Rodgers is going. I think Rodgers goes to the AFC. Brady, let's say he retires. Now, does the NFC is wide open? Does that appeal Russell Wilson trade talk even more?
You really want this to happen, don't you?
I don't necessarily want it to happen, but I find it intriguing. It just intrigues me. Because I know that offensive line with him could be really, man.
Then you're not going to be able to rely on this defense too much going into next year. I mean,
you have to go all in. You have to go all in. You have to use all your cap space. You have to use cap space for the next few years. I mean, it would be a win now mode. I don't think the Eagles will do that. I definitely don't. But, I mean, I still think Russell Wilson's got 3-4 years left, at least.
Yeah.
I do. Damian Ramsey, thank you for super chat. He says Reagor is a cross wide receiver like Nelson was. It's obvious why Howie forces the ball to him to justify the pick. Yeah, agreed. I mean, I think the way they use regular, Christian Kirk could do everything but really good. You know what I mean? And he's a guy that I wouldn't mind. You know.
Yeah, I mean, they've used Reagor in like predicted offensive struggles when it comes to like, they hand the ball off to him, it's a reverse, or they were doing things with him earlier in the season like that, but teams started to figure that out. So I don't know. And he's obviously he could have been the hero in some games and just can't pan out, unfortunately. Yeah.
That touchdown ref says, I'd love to have Russell Wilson. The thing is how long he would play. Well, that's the question. That's probably, that's the big question. I think he could play 3 or 4 more years. But do I know? I don't know. I mean, and just for those Jalen Hurts fans who are going to accuse me of saying you just giving up on, I'm just saying I'm intrigued by the idea. My plan and priority is to go in with Hurts next year. I'm not changing away from it. But I got to tell you, Russell Wilson's a hell of a quarterback, man.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Quez says trade 15 to the Jets for 35 and 38. We have 6 picks, and I would see. I'm not trading that 15th pick if I don't get a first round pick in 2023. If you said to me they're going to give me 35 and 2023 first round pick, I would do it. But I have to get a first round pick next year. I can't.
No, we need it.
Eagles Landing says Pickett is a good quarterback. I'm going to have to watch him. From what I've heard of him, people say he reminds them of Carson Wentz. So we'll see. But I need to watch. I haven't watched any of these quarterbacks yet. I'm really excited to see Willis though. That's the guy I really want to focus on. Let's see. Waste of time getting a veteran. You could be right. You could be right. I'm not. I'm not going to fight anybody on that because I kind of am back and forth with it.
It's speculation. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be one of the most exciting off seasons for the Eagles. One of the most important off seasons.
One of the most important, exciting off seasons is this one because I don't remember the last time the Eagles had 2 first round picks that I remember. They traded one of them for Jason Peters, which was fantastic. It worked out. But before that, I think the last time they had 2 first-round picks might have been when Reggie left for Green Bay. I can't remember. You're talking 3 first-round picks in the top 19. That's crazy,
Mm-hmm.
Just Blaze says there's not a wide receiver or out of the league that's going to fix Jalen Hurts. He's just a bona fide backup. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Maybe you're right. Maybe he can't develop into a passer. I don't know. But we're going to find out. I think he's earned the right to try another year. Sean Stepp, thank you for super chat. He says Rice or Moss couldn't solve the passing game. Facts. It might be right. Look, I am in wait and see mode with him. I don't even know what the Eagles really think. I know what they said in their press conference, but I felt like they had to say that in their press conference. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, they didn't have to say he's going to be the starting quarterback next year, even though we think he's probably earned the starting quarterback job next year. But I'm saying this, why is it before the season started, they wouldn't name a starting quarterback for months, but then the season ends and they say it in 2 seconds that he's starting quarterback next year?
And that's the weird thing. Like, to me, if let's say the Eagles didn't announce he was a starting quarterback, what is that already going to do for Jalen Hurts going into next season? He's already going to be questioning what the hell's going on. And here we go again, another Carson Wentz situation. So by saying he's the guy, he's going to go focus and do what he's got to do. But I can't tell you for certain that if some opportunity doesn't come up, that Howie's not going to jump on it. He said Carson was a starting quarterback. And look what happened. I don't trust Howie Roseman. Just don't.
I agree.
Rockham says Bears do not have a first-round pick next year either. To the Sea Chickens. Yeah. Who would you take from each team for a first-round pick? Who would you take? Who y'all take for each team for a first-round pick? From the Bears? I don't know. Maybe their linebacker. What's the linebacker's name? I forget his name off the top of my. Maybe their linebacker. Giants. I don't want anybody on the Giants. If that's what they all stink. Although I think what's his face? Who's the safety? The safety for the Giants. Damn it! What's his name? You know who I'm talking about from Cleveland? His name's slipping my mind. Whatever his name is, somebody tell us in chat. Apparently, the Eagles are going to go make a play for him. Peppers. That's what it is.
They're not.
Yeah. I heard that they're going to make it.
We're going to get fleeced in that trade. There's
no. He's a free agent. I think he's a free agent. Yeah. David Super Chat. He says, "Are you guys ready to razz Mark Holmes for 7 months for his 3 excuse videos a day? Love you, Mark. Breaking news: Dallas still stinks since 1995. Laugh out loud. Thank you, Damien. Oh yeah, I'm making an intro. All those kind of good things, man. No question. Yeah, Jabril Peppers. I think he's a free agent. Oh, dude, the Don, man. I love that that thumbnail. Look at that.
Did you see that thing
so
on Twitter?
Awesome.
You see that?
With Devonta Smith. And oh yeah, I did.
So good.
That is so good. They gotta fix this. I do two jersey videos a year. I've been doing it for 6 years. Twice a year, I do a video talking about Eagles jersey changes. I have to do one probably next month. 20 Eagles 215, man. Thank you so much for super chat. He says Hurts just needs studying a playbook and throwing coach. Yeah, I mean I think he's gotta. I think he's got to, make a, he's got to work on his passing games, no doubt about it. Yeah, I heard a rumor that the Eagles are going to make a play for Jabril Peppers. I don't know if it's true or not, but I could see that. I totally could see it. I wouldn't mind. I mean, I don't mind him. You know what I mean?
No, I think he's great.
Yeah, Felton Rowe in a second. Trade 19th for in a second. I would do it. I just think you had DK Metcalf and Devonta Smith and just keep building that offensive line. Oh, yeah. I would love it. No question about it.
I would still trade 50. If they want 15, I'd probably still do it. I don't know.
I mean, I think he's some people don't like him, but I just think a lot of people say he reminds them of Megatron. He reminds me of Terrell Owens.
We talked about Howie Roseman and not giving away not trading a first round pick for a marquee name player that could be here for a long time. Like I'm waiting for that day because, like I said, like we've only given up a 3rd round pick for Golden Tate, and other than that, he's really just giving away 4th to 6th round picks for players. So I mean, he has to sacrifice. He has to grow a pair and do something. So
yeah. Chris B says Eagles should give Hurts a huge extension. He's perfect running back trying to play quarterback. He's a quarterback. Come on. I mean, listen, look, he's got to work on his passing game. He's got to get better. But, dude, if you look at where he came from the beginning of the year by the end of the year, he improved drastically. If he can make that same jump next year, then you have something there. I mean, we talk about his passing game. He's got things to work on. But I don't think it's impossible that he can't do it, dude.
Yeah. No, I don't either. Yeah, I think he can, but will he? That's the question.
How old is Jabril? I can't. Jabril Peppers can't be that old. I'm guessing 28, 29. Maybe even younger,
26.
20. It's 26. Yeah, I would do that. Yeah, he's decent. Andre Moses says sign Hassan Reddick. That's my number one target. And I know people think he's only a 3-4 outside linebacker, but I think he could play 4-3. And if you do change into a 3-4, let's say you hire a Vic Fangio, then he's perfect even more so,
Yeah.
That's the problem, Rock'em Ray. You can't grow your arm strength. So he's gonna have to figure a way to be more accurate, to throw with anticipation, read the defenses better. He's gonna have to do all those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Jabril's 26. Mateo's not 29. Yeah, Mateo. I like him too, man. But I would always go for the younger player if it's me.
Right.
Agreed. Let's see. I hope the Eagles don't trade. I don't think they're going to trade him. No.
No,
I don't think
this was cap. I don't. They've already. I think the restructure kind of messed all that up for it to happen. If he didn't get restructured, then I'd say I think he actually had two restructures. He had one at the end of 20, and then he had another one in 21. So I doubt
right.
it.
Eagles clip. So it looks like Watson won't be moved at all until next year. Yeah, because it sounds like all that stuff going on is going to be lingering for a decent amount of time. It's not ending. So that's what it looks like, Yo, boy Mason, what's going on, man? What's going on? So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things going to happen. It's going to be interesting. It really is. I think the Eagles' three biggest needs are defensive end, and then I'll say wide receiver, and I'll say really, I think linebacker and safety. I mean, that's how I kind of see it. I think you address defense in the draft primarily and offensive free agency. That's what I would do. Anything else you want to say, man? But we're an hour and 5 minutes in, so yeah. I mean, that's anything you want to say.
There's one other thing too. So there has been rumors. It was from I forgot. I made a video about it. There has I forgot what reporter from NFL. There has been some talks of Andre Dillard a trade in the works.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about this. I'm glad you bring this up. Yeah, so tell us. Yeah, give me details on it.
Yeah, so I mean, there's really not much, but there is a trade in the works. Like, there's multiple teams that have some interest, and obviously, Dillard's only like 25, and could be moved. So I don't know what teams have interest. They haven't named the teams and what the compensation would be, but it could be, I don't know it's not going to be a high draft pick. It'll be maybe a mid draft pick, something like that. So
now, if you look at a team like Cincinnati, they need offensive line help. Burrow was sacked 9 times last week. I know this is probably hard. People are probably not going to agree or think, but is there any way they would trade T. Higgins?
No.
And I could package Dillard for T. Higgins. Now he's 6'4", but fast. They have Tyler Boyd too. He's not bad, but I wouldn't mind that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not going to get much out of it. I mean, when the Eagles drafted him, we thought he was going to be obviously a Pro Bowl left tackle for us, the next big thing coming to Philadelphia on the offensive line. But I don't think they've done right by Andre Dillard, even when they kind of redshirted him his first year. They had Jason Peters here, when they kept bringing back veterans. And then you drafted an offensive lineman in the first round at left tackle. That's supposed to be your future.
Yeah.
He played 3 games. Yeah. He played right tackle for 1 game, and it was a total mess after that. So
yeah. Card Season says 500. It's AK Beast Mode. What's up, buddy? He says you can have AJ Green. I don't want AJ Green, but I am eyeing your boy Christian Kirk. I'm eyeing him. I'm making a play for him because I want him to slot. Joseph San Diego says Jabril Peppers is tough, hard-nosed, good team player. We'll miss him as a Giants. Yeah, I mean, here he's on the way out, and the Eagles, I hear, could be interested. I could totally see the Eagles signing him. I'm telling you, that sounds like something Howie would do.
Oh, that's realistic, yeah.
And he's probably, he's not going to probably cost you top end money,
right.
So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Another guy, we need to talk about is Minshew. We mentioned him earlier about his cryptic tweet or whatever, but he's under contract 1 more year. So, to me, I'm not in a rush to trade him because I got a cheap backup. But if you do trade him, what do you think is acceptable for him?
A 3rd round pick? I'd say a 3rd. I'd say between a 3rd to a 5th. I mean, you're not going to get anything higher than that at this point. So I'd say maybe a 3rd rounder.
I would trade him for a 3rd. I wouldn't trade him for a 4th. I'd rather keep him. Right. Who's going to be my backup quarterback? So but he sounds like he wants to go. Maybe the Eagles told him. It was an interesting tweet, nonetheless. Cyclone says Dillard gets undeserved hate. That's true. I agree, but that's because he's a 1st round pick that's not starting.
And I don't think he's mentally. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't think he's mentally there either. I think there's a mental thing with him. Well, I think it's the Eagles' fault. I think it's part of the Eagles and how they treat him too, is why he's maybe like that. Because when Mulata was out for a couple games, I thought he didn't play great, didn't play bad, but he was pretty solid. I mean, he stuck it in there, so I don't think he played horrible. So he could have got some compensation for him, got some value.
Yeah. So Cryptologist says Minshew deserves a quarterback competition. I'm all for open competition, and I'm always for that in almost every position. So I would have no problem with that at all. Ant wants to know what Minshew tweeted. Now, do you have the tweet by chance? Do you remember what it was?
It's a quote. I gotta get it. Yeah, it's let me see here. All right. Let me see this. Hold on. Yeah, it's I don't know, it was so random, it was just so weird. Hold on a second.
Yeah, it was a random tweet, and it basically was talking about his time being over and moving on, or something to that, right?
So the tweet was, because he had no place he could stay in without getting tired of it, and because there was nowhere to go but everywhere. Keep rolling under the stars. What the hell is that?
That sounds like I'm ready to move, and I'll go anywhere that wants me to be the starting quarterback, or will give me an opportunity. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, that's what.
But the thing is, he can't just go. He's under contract one more year, and I think it's like $800,000 or $900,000. It's not expensive. No. So unless somebody gives me a lot, I ain't moving them, you know. No, you'll never get a first for Minshew, but maybe if somebody really wants him, give him a third, I'll do it. But I'm probably not doing it for more than that, because he's such a good value as a backup quarterback, you know. That's what I think.
When you like, there's fans out there that have been telling me, even when I'm making that video, everyone's like, "Well, we traded a 6th-round pick for him," you know, and I'm like, "Yeah, I understand that, but at the same time, you know, we traded Sam Bradford for a 1st-round pick when the Vikings lost Teddy Bridgewater, and they were just desperate. Sometimes you'll get that desperate team. I'm not saying it's going to be a 1st-round pick, hell no, but we're going to get a better pick out of it." Higher than
Matt says, I need a 1st-round pick for Minshew. So you're crazy. I don't think you could get a 1st-round. The thing with Bradford was every team believed, or like all these coaches all believed, that if we had Bradford, we can make him what he was coming out of college. But the thing was, he was too banged up, you know. I mean, the Eagles, they got a steal for Bradford. They just made the wrong pick.
Yeah.
And
pretty much. Yeah.
And you think Derek Burnett's gone, right? I mean, you think he's gone?
Oh, I mean, yeah, he better be. I mean, if I even see that they're even interested in re-signing him for another 3-4 years, I'll be shocked. I'll be pissed and shocked. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Cards of Thunder, why do you want Kirk? Because I think Christian Kirk is 25 years old. He'll be 26 in November. He almost 1,000 yards receiver. He's really good in the slot. The Eagles need a upgrade at the slot wide receiver. And to me, I rather have that than a big, slow guy on the outside. I'd rather give Quez Watkins another year to see if he can develop. Now, if you get a DJ Chark who's 6'4" and fast, that I don't mind. You want to get DJ Chark and Christian Kirk, I'm good with that too. But I think Christian Kirk, I think he would be a stud with the Eagles in a slot, man. I think everything they want him to regular to do, he can do it. But he can do it good.
Right. I agree.
You know? Kirk, Toryville says, what if Howie gets confused against Kirk Cousins? That's a problem. Because I think Kirk Cousins, I just think he's overrated, dude. You know?
Yeah, when it comes to those big, like, under the light moments for him, I just don't think he could. He just doesn't pan out. I don't know.
Right.
It's just he was with that when he was with Washington. He did the same thing with the Vikings for a while. So I mean, he still is not great. I mean, I'm not saying he's the worst quarterback I've ever seen, but I don't think he's going to be the guy.
When he's on, he's great. But the thing is, it just seems like the big moments he comes up small. You know. Kevin Pratt says, Hassan Reddick in free agency, what do you think, 500? It depends on what you think of Hassan Reddick. If you think he could be a 4-3 edge rusher as well as a 3-4 linebacker, if you think he can make that transition, then I think you have to sign him. I think he's got to be your number one target. Personally, I think he can play 4-3. I know he's like 235, 240. I think he can play it. And he would be my number one target in free agency. But if you don't think he can play the 4-3 down defensive end, then you then probably have to look elsewhere. But
Chandler Jones would be interesting too, but he's going to be really expensive.
How old is Chandler Jones?
He's old. He's old.
Yeah, that's the problem. Hassan Reddick's, I think, in his prime.
Yeah.
But it's all about, can he make the transition? I think he can. I don't think it matters for a guy like that. Right. But I mean, I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong with that. But I'm dying for a upgrade at the defensive end position, both positions. Like I think that's their number one need. They got to get better pass rush wise, because that's their whole defense is predicated on their pass rush. And if Jonathan Gannon does stay, you definitely have to upgrade that line, because you're not going to get pressure through blitzing because he's not an aggressive coach.
Yeah, if Gannon does stay, they have to beef up the defensive line. Definitely, they have to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Wilder Beast Davenport, man, thank you for super chat. Says Eagles need to draft Treylon Burks, wide receiver, Arkansas. Debo Samuel 2.0 can do everything Reagor was supposed to do. Second round. I'm gonna have to look at. I don't know much about. Do you know anything about him?
No,
I don't know anything about him. But I'm gonna take a look at him though. No question about it. Ryan Kerrigan. Ryan Kerrigan didn't do anything until the playoffs, and then he played good. It's like, what the hell? Where's that been all year?
Right.
Philly, how do you make a pool table laugh? You tickle its balls. That's a good one. Oh boy. Let's see. Randy. I don't want Randy Gregory. I don't want Randy Gregory at all.
Cedric Wilson. He's a free agent.
So if you still going to make a T-shirt saying "Brother"? Yeah, I'm gonna. I got 3 T-shirts. Shout out to House Cat, because he made me this great artistic work, and I'm still working on making it into a shirt. It's just been a crazy few weeks for me, no question. But we will definitely do that. All right, guys. Well, I mean, is there anything else you want to say, Joe? We got about 380 people in the chat. If you haven't subscribe, click the link on the description. Sub up my man Joey Shakes.
Yeah, no, I'm. You know what? I know it's gonna be tiresome sometimes when it comes to rumors and speculation, all that. But it's the fun of it all in the off season, because we're just guessing and we don't know what's gonna happen. Hopefully, we're surprised in a positive way once free agency comes, and then once free agency is done, and once the few weeks of free agency passes by and we're down to depth signings and stuff like that, then we get to talk about, obviously during the draft, before draft time with the combine and everything, and to see what holes the Eagles still have and what we're gonna do. So.
Yeah, look, it's going to be one of the most entertaining off seasons for sure. Philly Fresh, what's up, my man? Shout out to him, everybody. If you haven't, go sub him up. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Next week we'll be on Joey's channel. I will be streaming both games tomorrow, so come hang out. And on our way out, we're going to play this little treat for us Eagle fans, so we can laugh at Mark Holmes, Michael Anthony, Where's the Fitness one last time. So enjoy the outro, because it's worth it. Take care, everybody. Peace out, and we'll talk to you later.
More play. We had one.
Yo, you gotta be motherfucking kidding.
You gotta be kidding me. We have no time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker
running
from
a.
To get off the field on 3rd down.
What was that bullshit?
That is not right.
Tell him more. He's gotta be better, man. He wasn't.
Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had enough time for one more
We
play.
had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
The brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys games.
Yeah, you
The
literally.
brother screwed us. The brother screwed us.
It's going to end the way.
We had an opportunity for one more play.